Maverick traders. Welcome out to your market roundup. It's September 23rd. Corey here with you. Let's jump in. So we're always going to take a look at meaningful news. We're going to look at what sectors are heating up, which ones are cooling down, and then highlight our very best ideas. And there's some interesting picks to look through today.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the Apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So today was pretty interesting in terms of some things happening in the markets. It was a quiet day. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all relatively flat. Oil was down almost 1%. I mean, there wasn't a lot of price action. So why do I say it was interesting? Well, we got PMI data out of the US and out of Europe, and they were both disastrous. I mean, we're talking numbers that are sub 50, which shows economic retractions. Numbers sub 50 that basically push the market to now pricing in the next move by the Fed to be another 50 basis point cut. So we've come a long way where they were talking about, oh, well, maybe we do 25 and then 25 more and 20. Now it's grown to where we just did 50 and the markets are now pricing in another 50 basis point cut. Again, what's leading this is that economic weakness, and that's where the Fed is at. So I can't entirely say that's not coming. I mean, I talked about the fact that once the market realizes the Fed's going into a cycle, once they start cutting, there's going to be more cuts coming behind that. Equities continue to push higher, really sideways today, but overall still going up. VIX kind of coming down, that sort of thing. Advanced decline line about 50-50-ish, and the 50-period moving average clearly more bullish, 70% of stocks in an upward advance. Now, as we look at the S&P chart, we know that we've broken out above resistance, and the way that we've done that, as you look at this resistance zone, was with a nice gap higher, a power move, right? So that's not your average, just we kind of pushed up. No, we gapped above it. That's very strong. Usually when you see a significant day, there's some follow through for a handful of days, right? Here's a big reversal day where we went from way down to way up. There's follow through. Here, if we look at some bearish gaps, I mean, here's a bearish gap, some downside follow through, downside bearish gap, downside follow through. So some days are more significant than other. We're on the back of a powerful move to the upside, so I'd expect some more follow through. NASDAQ, not quite as strong, but you can still see the gap up a couple of days ago, and we're kind of consolidating here. Still looks like the path of least resistance is more up than down. The big reversal, the big shake that was, we had moved into a downward trend, and then that day was just a complete reversal. It was a shocking day, really, and it changed a lot of things. I mean, I had put on some bearish trades because we'd frankly moved into a downtrend. Or at least kind of sideways to lower in the S&P and NASDAQ, and it just reversed right back up. This gets ugly. This is like you go bearish and then you immediately turn bullish, and it's just a hard environment to trade. So it wasn't great for me personally. I didn't love that kind of shakeout, that choppy price action, but over time you're going to deal with those. Those are just part of the cost of doing business. As we look at the heat map, more green than red, certainly. Healthcare looks a little more red. You could say large cap tech, a little bit more in the red. Tesla with a strong day today. That's the most bright green. You got some green here, certainly in Intel, which the rumors were that Qualcomm might be looking to buy out Intel and so on. I'm not so sure that's going to happen, but certainly leading towards more upside. Some green just really across the board, more so than the red. So we know that 70% of stocks advancing. Markets are still in an upward trend, so I'm trying not to overthink it. Certainly we have more stocks uptrending than down, but there's candidates on both sides. And I've tried to keep somewhat of a level book here recently. I would say, again, a couple of weeks ago was really kind of ugly in that it made me even up the books a little bit right when the markets were ready to just fake move down and head back up, which adding some of those bears did not help. But that's again, the nature of markets. Sometimes there's choppiness. So as we take a closer look at candidates, Delta Airlines, look, we're up trending. Minor pullback here, but I think this thing is going towards 50, probably the low 50s in the short run, even a little bit of a bullish engulfing type of formation today. Also on the bullish side, Palantir, big upside breakout on volume. And again, we just continue to push to the upside. If you look at RSIs and some momentum type of gauges there, this thing is in overdrive. Should continue to push up towards that 40 price point. On the bearish side, you've got things like Moderna, just cannot get out of its own way. Even as the markets look strong, we know that healthcare was a weaker sector. This thing is making new multi-month lows. Not what you want to see. Moderna was right in the heart of everything that was related to COVID vaccines and so forth. And certainly that has come full circle. What was a boom for them has now become a little bit of a bust and a problem. So, I'm not making a political or fundamental statement, just purely in the numbers, not really working out for Moderna right here, right now. So a little bit more bearish price action. Markets are now pricing in further, bigger interest rate cuts. This week we've got final GDP on Thursday. I should add a little note here. You also have Powell speaking. On Friday, you get core PCE and inflation gauge. On the earnings front, AutoZone, Costco, KB Homes, Micron. Micron was one of those that was up a bit today. We'll see if that can have any follow through. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.